Glenn Clark Radio, talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no, stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
Here's a high fly ball off of the bat of Jimenez that's carrying well. Robles turns and watches it fly. It's the 9-hitter, Andres Jimenez, of all people, giving Toronto the swing that it desperately needed. It's tied at 2.
Yeah, who did see that coming from not just Andres Jimenez, but at that point I would say from the Blue Jays, because down 2-0 in the series in Seattle and spotting the Mariners the early lead, I think most of us had the exact same feeling after the first inning last night, which was, oh, yeah, it's over. And maybe that was an overreaction to Julio Rodriguez's early home run. And remembering, baseball games, they still play 9 innings. But it just felt like the totality of all of it would be crushing. And so, yeah, of all people, Andres Jimenez steps up, gets the home run that ties it up. It starts a 5-run third inning for the Blue Jays, and then they just never stop scoring. They just keep hitting home runs. Vlad added one, and Springer added one, and I think there was another.
Kirk hit a 3-run homer.
Yeah, Kirk hit another home run.
He said, "I'm the real Big Dumper."
Yeah.
And then Big Dumper hit one anyway.
Yeah, but at that point, the game was over.
That was definitely meaningful to some folks, I'm sure.
I'm sure that's true. As the Blue Jays win 13-4, they take Game 3, and maybe we're going to have an ALCS after all. So look, the Mariners turn around, win the night, they're in great shape, right? They still have home field advantage, everything's. But if the Blue Jays turn around and win the night, boy, things get really, really interesting, as the Blue Jays are indeed looking to become the first team to ever win a league championship series after losing games 1 and 2 at home. And they needed that badly last night, and they got it. And also give Shane Bieber a lot of credit, man, because I would say the exact same thing. Given how things have gone in games 1 and 2, and then giving up a home run in the first inning, you could have seen this being a very short night for Shane Bieber, and he absolutely buckled in, bared down, got through 6 innings, and didn't allow any more damage.
A risky trade acquisition as well at the deadline.
Yeah, very risky, right? Given
he hadn't pitched all year.
Right.
Yeah.
And we know that Shane Bieber has a track record of success, but they absolutely had no idea. And for a team that was trying to win a World Series, what were you getting in Shane Bieber? Now you turn to him in essentially a game with a season on the line. I mean, really. As we all know, yes, it's happened before the team has come down from 3-0, but one time ever. And so with the season on the line, you turn to Shane Bieber, and he gets the job done. And so they are right back in it. Game 4 tonight. Game 3 in the NLCS before that. And it's a lot going on. Thursday Night Football. The Maryland 5-Star gets underway today.
Ooh.
A lot happening. Coming up on the program, Blake Horvath is going to join us. Navy quarterback, they're 6-0. He put the cape on late against Temple, 51-yard touchdown run, and then finding Alex Tezka for the 2-point conversion to put him ahead. We will talk to Blake Horvath about their 6-0 start, what's ahead after the bye, his name popping up in some Heisman Trophy conversations. There are odds now available for Blake Horvath to win the Heisman at FanDuel. I did see that. So
Yes, you better get him now because I'm about to tank those.
Oh, yeah,
Me
you're about
personally.
to.
Yeah, they're going to be like, oh, shoot.
There you go. Also, we'll make some picks with KZ a little bit later on as well. That's coming up on a Thursday edition of the program. As I mentioned, the Maryland 5-Star underway out at Fair Hill today. Maryland5star.us with the number 5 is how you get your tickets. Saturday would be a great day to be there with the cross-country race. Sunday, the eventing, and the final day as they crown a champion of the Maryland 5-Star. Fair Hill, beautiful. If you've never been, it's definitely worth just going and checking out the property. And then I would add, if you don't know much about equestrian, join the club. I didn't know anything about equestrian, but I just wanted to see what it was all about, and I was hooked. It's awesome. And on top of that, the event is very cool. It's got a celebration of just fall in Maryland, which there's nothing better than fall in Maryland. So great shopping, food and wine festival, the Corgi Cup, the ponies. Maryland 5-Star underway starting today and through Sunday. Maryland to 5-Star with the number 5.us. So it's weird because I felt as of like 2 days ago that we didn't have a single candidate to be the next manager of the Baltimore Orioles. All we had was Ryan Flaherty, and he wasn't even actually a candidate. He was just the betting favorite and the guy that was thrown out there months ago by Bob Nightingale, and so played for the Orioles. Why not? And now we've got 2 known candidates for the job. And it's interesting to try to figure out what we make of the 2 known candidates that we have. The first that we found out about, and we didn't talk about it yesterday, was Luis Rojas, who had managed the Mets, so he does have experience, which is something that we had talked about perhaps was important for the Orioles in finding their next manager, but not necessarily cachet, right? Like, he was manager there for 2 years. He's been third base coach for the Yankees since then. But at least he would have managerial experience that he would bring to the role. So Luis Rojas becomes the first known candidate to be the Orioles manager. And so if that's the first known candidate, you would say, okay, well, at least checks off the box of they're looking for someone who's managed before. It's not the big stick guy that you're talking about. It's not the Bob Melvin, what you were hoping for in Skip Schumacher. Obviously, it's not going to be him. Buck Showalter. It's not that. It's not someone with so much experience that it's overwhelming, but at least it's not a first-time manager. And again, I think a lot of us feel like it's important that this hire, we talked about this with Greg Olson last week, be someone that's not a first-timer, that's stepping in to elevate this group. And we can question whether or not Luis Rojas can do that, right? Like, he didn't have a winning season in 2 years as Mets manager. So I don't know that Luis Rojas is the answer. But at least the thought was, okay, they're looking at guys that have managed before. Good.
They're looking at people that know baseball.
Well, the second candidate that we find out is in play to be the Orioles manager, who everyone seems to think is going to be the manager of the Angels. So I'm not sure that it even matters to talk about it, but it was kind of a wild one when we found out. According to Alden Gonzalez, ESPN baseball reporter, the Orioles are interested in interviewing Albert Pujols for their managerial opening. And this is really interesting. As the story goes from Alden Gonzalez and Jeff Passan, the Baltimore Orioles, seeking a new manager to guide their young emerging core, have expressed interest in a future Hall of Fame first baseman, Albert Pujols. sources told ESPN. The Orioles have yet to formally interview Pujols, but are expected to as they seek a replacement for Brandon Hyde, who was fired in the early portion of what became a disappointing 87-loss season. We're going to skip ahead a little bit. Orioles president of baseball operations, Mike Elias, was a scout for the St. Louis Cardinals, while Pujols starred for the organization in the latter half of the 2000s. Pujols, 45, still shares a close relationship with former teammate Matt Holliday, father of Jackson Holliday, the 21-year-old infielder who is now one of the Orioles' foundational players. Now, as you read on,
So we're just going to get the 2011 Cardinals back together here.
the Los Angeles Angels still appear to be the most likely destination for Pujols and remain the only team he has formally interviewed with, industry sources said. Pujols met with Angels general manager Perry Manassian in St. Louis last Thursday and is still highly considered for the job, though former All-Star outfielder Torrey Hunter is also a serious candidate.
Oh, man.
The Angels' hiring process, however, might be slowed by owner Artie Moreno and President John Carpino's involvement in the civil trial over the death of pitcher Tyler Skaggs. So that somebody would say, well, if they were just going to hire Albert Pujols, they clearly they know him very well. Why wouldn't they have just hired him? Sort of like what the Rangers did with Skip Schumacher, right? Like they didn't really have a process or a search. They just hired Skip Schumacher because they knew him and they knew they wanted him to be the next manager. A similar question could be asked about the Angels, right? Like what possibly more would you need to know about Albert Pujols? You know the guy insanely well. If you interviewed him, should we read into the idea that you didn't immediately hire him? The point from Passan and Gonzalez is, well, that might be complicated by what they have going on with the Tyler Skaggs lawsuit. Maybe so. I don't know. Or maybe Albert Pujols said, I kind of want to talk to some other teams and see what it is that they have to say. I don't know anything about Albert Pujols to know. And it would be fascinating, the idea that, like, maybe Matt Holliday is the one pulling the strings in all of this. Which,
why wouldn't you want to be with the Rockies? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I can think of a few reasons why you might not want to be with the Rockies.
I guess so. Yeah. But if it's the Holidays that are...
Yeah, but like right now he's got one son that's in the bigs.
Sure.
And so if he's invested, you can see why it might be with that son and the core group of talent that's there. I'm in this weird place where Albert Pujols clearly does not present the things that we have been talking about in terms of experience as a manager. He's never managed before. But yet the other side of the equation, remember I said experienced manager carries a big stick. Well, so one of these guys is an experienced manager in Luis Rojas, but does not carry a big stick. He is not a significant figure. I don't know how different Luis Rojas' presence would be than Tony Mansolino's presence. I just don't know. Now, he's worked with a lot of prominent people, obviously, with those teams in New York, so it might be that the experience that he's had around those guys would factor into the cachet that he would bring to the job. But he doesn't have the big stick that we're talking about. The guy that just on day one, accountability, this guy's in charge, buck stops here, there's a new sheriff in town. That's kind of what I'm personally looking for in a manager. So you wouldn't get that from Luis Rojas, but you would get managerial experience. On the flip side, with Albert Pujols, you don't get, and I know you're about to say, yes.
Come on, he led his Dominican team to, the Leones.
He did manage
Del Escogido,
a team in the Dominican League. So to say he doesn't have...
And they won a championship in the year 2025.
I understand that. And he's slated to be the manager for the Dominican in the World Baseball Classic. So to say he has no managing experience at all is not technically true. But no Major League Baseball managerial experience. But he does carry a big stick. And would bring an amount of cachet that we haven't seen in a long time. The era of this caliber of player becoming a manager, it seemed to have gone away years ago. we think about Frank Robinson managing the Orioles, and then later, actually, he managed the Nationals. Ryan Sandberg is a Hall of Famer, but wasn't Albert Pujols.
Yeah, in my lifetime, I don't think I can think of a surefire Hall of Famer like this that has been like a player manager like this. I don't think I.
Well, he wouldn't be a player. I don't think Albert Pujols
Okay,
would play.
I don't think. You know what I mean. Like a player turning
It
manager.
would
Player
be
turning
interesting
manager.
if the Orioles are considering. Hey, we also need a veteran bat.
We did. We were looking for a right-handed bat
Yeah,
here.
you got any thought, and maybe does that be something you'd be willing to do? I'm trying to think if there's been anyone besides Ryan Sandberg in the modern era. I mean, modern's unfair because Frank Robinson still would qualify as the modern era. Who else? Is there anyone else past 2000 that managed a Hall of Famer that managed besides Ryan Sandberg and Frank Robinson? They're the only two that I can think of.
When was the last time Joe Torre was?
Past. Joe Torre's not a Hall of Fame player.
Okay, all right.
Joe Torre went to the Hall of Fame as a manager.
Okay,
but he is not a Hall of Fame player.
that's why I ask.
I'm trying to think if there was anybody. I probably should have prepared this a little bit more. Frank Robinson.
Did Rogers Hornsby manage? Obviously not.
I said since 2000.
Well, you never know.
No, you do know. It definitely.
Maybe he was pulling the string somewhere.
Griffin's doing old-timey baseball names like they managed after 2000. My gut tells me that Frank Robinson and Ryan Sandberg are the only Hall of Famers that have managed in this century.
When's the last time Tony Perez was managing?
I don't even remember Tony Perez managed. That's wild. Tony Perez managed. The Marlins in 01. There you go.
Boom. All right. So
you
there
found
you
a third.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. 3.
I did something.
We got 3. And then maybe there's more. I don't know. But it's just not something that happens. And even of those 3,
I think that's it. I'm looking at the list, like the National Baseball Hall of Fame.org of Hall of Famers who managed.
Okay.
I think those are. I think everyone else is a black and white picture.
Okay.
So.
And of those 3, I mean, Frank Robinson has the player cachet of Albert Pujols. Perez is close.
When's the last time Paul Molitor?
Oh, I forgot Paul Molitor managed.
Yeah,
Paul Molitor definitely managed this. All right, you see, this is why incomplete list. Yeah, Paul Molitor definitely managed the Twins.
Oh wow, yeah, that was very recent.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so Paul Molitor.
All right, so 4. But again, even still, Albert Pujols is elevated even among Hall of Famers. And to take nothing away from Paul Molitor or Ryan Sandberg or really even Tony Perez, only Frank Robinson of that group has the player cachet that Albert Pujols does. Albert Pujols is truly one of the greatest players in baseball history. I think he'd be a top 10, if not top 15 hitter. I really think it's top 10 in the history of the game. So that creates a big stick that you can't get from even a lot of experienced managers. So, yeah, I'm compelled by it. I'm not suddenly like, would you say, if you said right now, would you rather Albert Pujols or Bob Melvin? I'd still probably tell you I'd prefer Bob Melvin. And if I'm reading anything, if the question is what have we learned from the first 2 known managerial candidates for the Baltimore Orioles, what have we learned? Is there a trend? Well, neither one of them have significant managerial experience. Neither one of them is a Buck Showalter, Bruce Bochy, Bob Melvin type. They're both, one of them has very little managerial experience, one of them has essentially no managerial experience. But Pujols definitely would be a guy that the moment he walked in, he would be the new sheriff in town. There would be an amount of credibility and respect that would have to be given to Albert Pujols that would fit the cachet part of the conversation. And the accountability part is the part to me that I'm most interested in right now. So we'll see. It'd be nice to learn some more names in the coming days and guys that they're interviewing or want to interview. But for now, that's the list of what we have. Luis Rojas, Albert Pujols. Speaking of the Orioles.
Would you want Torrey Hunter?
I mean, I love Torrey Hunter.
I know you do.
I'm a Torrey Hunter guy, man. freaking love that dude. But
For this situation,
I mean, we'd also have to talk about the Matt Holliday of it if it ended up being Albert Pujols. Is that a good thing? If this happens because
does he bring Matt Holliday on? Like, as
maybe. I mean, that's always been really interesting to me is how involved can Matt Holliday be, and it seems like sort of just being a consultant is the paid or unpaid is the best thing that Matt Holliday can do. It does feel like that's not something you really want. You don't want that dynamic of what if something's going wrong and you feel like you have to fire the guy's dad. It's just not.
yeah.
You know, we talk about the damage that it did. Like Cal Ripken was really hurt by the Orioles firing his father. Now the Orioles were able to fix that by making him the highest paid player in all of baseball at that point. But I think the era of the Orioles making someone the highest paid player in all of baseball is over. I don't think that's ever going to happen again. It's just a really interesting. I think him being a resource is a good thing. How involved really is he? Is it the type of thing where like Mike Elias is really interested in Albert Pujols and calls Matt Holliday and says, "Hey, do you think everybody thinks he's going to the Angels. Do you think you could suggest to him that he should talk to us before he takes that job?" I would have no problem with that. But if it's Matt Holliday behind the scenes saying, you need to hire this guy, then that becomes a little icky. And we have no reason to think that that's the case. I'm not suggesting that that's what's going on because I have no reason to believe that. But what is the level of involvement of Matt Holliday? Because there's a level of involvement that you're completely good with, and there's another level of involvement where I don't want that. You don't really want this to be like a baseball dad situation where you want my kid to stick around. If you don't hire this guy, we want to be traded. And again, I don't think that's going on. But what is the level that Matt Holliday is involved in the process? And on one side, if you really think that Albert Pujols is the answer and Matt Holliday can help convince him, like, Albert, we got special kids here. These guys are really talented. We're just not bringing the best out of them, and we think that you can. Good. Yes, thumbs up. But if it's, the other thing, that wouldn't be good at all. All right, speaking of the Orioles, weird week because the Ravens are now splitting up and going their separate ways, but there has been other football practice going on in Baltimore, and we saw some of the images of this. And I don't know, man. Like I said, I was very disappointed. I wanted to see a football field at Camden Yards, and I didn't get that, which is a big bummer. I just wanted to know what it would look like. Instead, they set up a half field and a quarter field in right field and left field respectively, and so I'm very disappointed by that part of it. But we did see some of the reporters who are in town covering the Rams share some video and some images. This is Gary Klein, who covers the Rams for the LA Times, showing the right field mini field that had been set up for the Rams to practice on. So there's that. And then we also saw some of the players having some fun. The Rams put out a video of the guys coming out of the dugout onto the field, which was fun. And then this is Sarah Barshop, who covers the Rams for ESPN, shared this picture of Matt Stafford. Now, you look at this picture, and you see a sign in front of the mound that says, "Please, no cleats on the tarp." And I think he's wearing flats. Like, I think he is.
I don't know.
But I can't tell from that image whether or not Matt Stafford may be pissing off the Orioles groundskeepers. And then Gary Klein of the Times also shared some video of Matt Stafford crouching down behind what would be home plate to do a little catching, as Gary Klein said, Matt Stafford doing his best Pudge Rodriguez impression. And doing some catching. So Rams players having fun practicing at Camden Yards. That's all well and good, but it doesn't really mean anything for anyone here. The question, what we were hoping this could be, was a show of what Camden Yards could potentially be as a facility for other events. And this is not giving us any of that. And in fact, like the stay off the mound kind of suggests that the Orioles are always going to prioritize protecting the diamond, which would limit the ability for them to ever host football or soccer or other sporting events. Winter Classic, something along those lines would be very difficult. The Winter Classic always sets up right in the infield. Soccer and football would require you using the infield area.
I don't know. They look like spikes.
You think those are spikes?
Yeah, I think those are spikes.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. What do we do now?
I mean, we gotta call somebody.
I mean, is he our sworn mortal enemy now? Is that
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Are we?
Come in and beat the Ravens. You're gonna try to tear apart tarps too on the baseball
Jaguars
field.
Fans now? Like, Hey, Matt Stafford, you paying for the tarp or what? Huh? I can't still. Oh yeah.
That looks bumpy. That left foot looks bumpy.
We might need it as a Zapruder film this. We might need to get a shoe expert on the program to find out if Matt Stafford. How dare you, sir? There's a sign right there. You can see the sign. I can't guarantee.
And then we go back to the Pudge Rodriguez video. I mean, those look. Yeah, they're spikes. Those are spikes. Those are spikes 100%.
Those are the same shoes. That's it. You're out. What power do I have? Can I perform a citizen's arrest?
Yeah.
Can I do that?
I believe so.
Get the F out. All of them. Every single one of them. Go back to Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah, those are spikes. Go
back to the, what would the president say? That crime-ridden hellhole that you come from. We're taking the Olympics out. Yeah, that's it. Now we get the Olympics. We know the president loves it here.
Olympics, Baltimore Olympics.
So funny when. I mean, I shouldn't laugh at this stuff because I know there's bigger problems. But him being like, we're taking the World Cup out of Boston. Well, like, the World Cup isn't in Boston.
Maybe it should be.
It's in Foxborough, which is not in Boston. Decidedly not in Boston. 2.
Is he taking it out of Foxborough?
He does not.
He doesn't have that power?
He's not. Now, again, he has a lot of sway with the FIFA president because, somebody would point out that that organization knows a thing or two about corruption. Somebody might point out
that you're implying
there's
that our country's
corrupt. Perhaps there. So maybe he could try to beg the guy to but I don't think that's the way that it works. And yes,
we want this game in Manchester, New Hampshire.
This week he's doing the bit where I'm going to take the Olympics out of Los Angeles. Like, what? Are you in charge of the Olympics? It just feels all right. I don't want to get into.
That sounds like you're jealous of the power he has.
But I'm not sure he has it. But he's trying. He's sure as hell trying. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, we're sending him back to that crime-ridden hellhole, that rat-infested.
No, we're sending him worse. London.
Oh yeah, yeah. You don't even get to be in America. All right, so that's what's going on over at Camden Yards. Matt Stafford's trying to ruin the field. Thanks a lot, jerk. Come back in. We're going to chat with Blake, a great American.
Yeah.
A real American. Blake Horvath is going to join us next. Navy quarterback, Heisman Trophy candidate. Today's show brought to you by County Sports Zone. CountySports.zone for everything you want to know about high school sports here in the state of Maryland. Scores, schedules, rankings, updates. We're getting closer to playoff season and fall sports. Everything you need to know. CountySports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
The weather's getting cooler, so when you and your family are picking out a place to dine, be it lunch or dinner, let's make it nice and easy. Now, with 2 great locations, the Costas Inn remains your #1 destination. Whether you want to get steamed crabs and the full Costas menu out at the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or sample the complete menu minus the steamed crabs at the new location above the grandstand at the Timonium Racetrack, Costas is your place to go. Check out the website, CostasInn.com, for a look at the menu, and if you want to plan that crab feast, call 410-477-1975. The Costas Inn.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Don Marcus profiles new Maryland Athletic Director Jim Smith, breaking down the challenge he faces in his new role and the unique background he brings to the job. Also inside, Brandon Schwartzberg takes an in-depth look at Orioles outfielder Dylan Beavers. And we meet college basketball players from all the programs around the state before the season gets underway. Press Box is available for free at over 250 locations throughout the region. And starting this month, you can find us at Baltimore area High's Dairy Store locations. Plus, you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Game day hits different with Live Casino's Big Plays, Big Pays hot seats. Head to Sports and Social on select Sundays and Mondays in October. We'll draw 10 hot seat winners every hour. When the home team scores, we'll double the prize pool. Plus, we'll give away $50 Sports and Social gift cards with every touchdown. Watch and win at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
Stan the Fan, Charles, Ross Grimsley, Luke Jackson getting together every Monday until the end of the World Series, talking baseball with you. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. It's all brought to you by the Costas Inn, the OG Costas Inn on North Point Boulevard in Dundalk, and the all-new Costas Inn, now open at the Grandstand in Timonium. I had to do this a little bit earlier because of their insanely busy schedule of just being a midshipman, but had the opportunity to catch up with Navy quarterback Blake Horvath right here on GCR. Well, Navy is off to a 6-0 start to the season. They've got the bye this week after a thrilling victory at Temple last Saturday, and this man is doing it all, leading the way for the midshipmen on the ground via the air. He's quarterback Blake Horvath, and he is back with us now here on GCR. Blake, it's Glenn. It's always great to catch up, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Glenn, for having me.
Of course. All right, before we get to any of the football stuff, I was reading the new print issue of Press Box, which features 10 questions with Blake, and there was one in particular in there, and I get it, precision, I understand, part of your game, but you were asked, do you have a hidden talent? And the answer is, this is weird. I'm good at throwing food into other people's mouths, like M&Ms. Yep. I need to know the history of this and why. I mean, look, I have been to quite a few Japanese steakhouses in my life, and with 2 young sons, I like going all the time. So I know a thing or two about catching food, but I feel like the M&Ms would be almost like a choking hazard to be trying to throw into people's mouths.
It happens. Me and my best friend back at home, we just like all the time, just like when we're bored, I'll throw stuff into his mouth. And so like he's got like you can sort of see his like upstairs from his living room. It's like he'll go into like his room and we'll throw it like 30 feet away from each other and we'll catch it. And so that's sort of our hidden talent together, I guess.
Have you considered
America's Got Talent?
No, I was going to say like a trick shot video. I feel like we have seen every type of trick shot video. The Dude Perfect guys, I don't think there's anything left for them. I feel like this might be opening up an entire new pathway.
Yeah, maybe they should definitely check that out for sure. But yeah, we should maybe when I go back home, and see him again, then we'll film some videos for you.
I would love that. That would make me very happy. I appreciate that. That is definitely unique, and every time we've ever asked about a unique skill set. All right, Blake, I need to know where it comes from for you. How are you so cool? How are you so calm and collected? 4th down game on the line, 2-point conversion game on the line. Where does this come from that nothing phases you?
I think it's really just being in the opportunities and having the ability to, experience the different types of stress and different types of, just things here at the academy, whether it be during our plebe summer, right? That's about as stressed as you can get during any given environment. And so, once you've been through it, once you've done it all, and it just comes natural, right? Once you've seen yourself do it as well, and just the faith too, the faith I have in all the guys on our team, right? At the same point, they're looking to me to see how things are going, right? And if I'm freaking out, they're going to be freaking out, especially with some of the young guys on our offensive line. And so, there's no point in my opinion to be all worried in that situation, because it's not going to make any of us play better. So, and probably to my mom and dad, just their ability to stay calm under pressure too. So
I was going to say, did you know that about yourself before you got to the academy? Like, were you already aware from like high school? Like, I got every moment. I'm not going to flinch.
Yeah, that was sort of how I tried to operate in high school as well, right? Just it's always sort of been my mantra, right? Is the best way I thought to lead people, especially on the field, is just by being consistent, calm, consistent, collected, right? Because then they can approach you, they can feel comfortable and do their jobs correctly. And so if I'm freaking out, if I'm screaming all the time, it's not going to make anybody better. So just being that sense and sort of trying to bring everybody down, because I think everyone can operate the best in that situation.
Was there any doubt in your mind that you wanted to go for 2? I know Coach New said that the plan all along was going for 2, and then you guys scored so quickly they had to think about it for a second. But was there any doubt in your mind, like, nah, man, I want to go win the game right now?
I would say, I didn't know what was going to happen. Of course, our kick team ran out there after we scored. So I was going to be fine with anything. In my mind, I definitely wanted to go for 2 just in the situation, being on the road with how the game had gone, give ourselves an opportunity to win it right there. And I thought that we had a good, menu of plays to choose from in that situation. And, when they decided they're going to go for 2, I was like, I knew what I sort of wanted to run in that situation. It's what we did run. And, like you said, I knew just from what we practiced and what we've gone through that play would be there.
How comfortable are you at this point between Alex and Eli in particular, who you've been with for, like, we're just seeing this connection that you guys have had now for a couple of years. I feel like maybe you guys could be throwing like, M&Ms into each other's mouths at this point. Like, how comfortable are you with this point? Like, you call it, we're gonna go execute it because we just know each other that well.
Absolutely. I think it's the reps that we've been through. It's the years of being together since our freshman year on scout team together for most of us. And so it's just the confidence that I have in them and the ability that they've shown to make plays in crunch time and when it was needed. And so, the confidence, I think, those guys could play anywhere in the country, truthfully. And the fact that they're on our team is great and it makes my job easier. So being able to have them around me and surround, their talent with our offense, I think it meshes really well. And it just makes our connection grow.
He is Navy quarterback Blake Horvath, and he is with us here on GCR. Blake, I guess the dumb guy thought would be, playing with fire a little bit, right? Like these games have been pretty close, and you guys have been tested. And I think that the positive side of that is you've handled those tests, and you've come out with wins. But is the message as you guys go through the bye, hey, we need to be even sharper so that we don't end up in these tight situations late where we have such a small margin for error?
Absolutely. I think one of our strength coaches, our head strength coach, Coach Carizzi, he always likes to say after games, it's no sin to win, right? It's, a win's a win in every sense. And, that's what we play the game for, right? Not for stats, but for wins. And so, you can look at it any way. I've been a football fan my entire life, and I've seen teams that blow everybody out, and then they're like, yeah, but they've never been in a close one. What happens when they're in a close one, right? So, people are always going to point something out, especially when you're 6-0 and in that sense. And, it's just all about us, right? What we're doing, and we find ways to win, we find ways to get it done as a team, and it's been a different formula every game, right? Maybe it's the offense that has picked things up when the defense might be falling, or the other way around. The defense has picked stuff up for us when we maybe weren't executing well, and so just overall, we got a group of guys that want to win.
I'm chatting with Navy quarterback.
How do we get?
Sorry, Blake, you're freezing up on us a little bit as we're trying to continue this conversation. See if we can get Blake back settled. No, that's technology, man. That's not your fault. You there's only so much you can control, and I appreciate the fact that you're pretty good at controlling most of those things. Blake, a lot has been made about your guys' schedule coming out of the bye, right? And like how difficult it's going to get. Do you feel like these tests have been good to prepare you for that? And not to take anything away from the teams that you've already played, right? Because obviously, Temple we know is a very good team, and Air Force obviously the week before it. But you feel like maybe this is sharpening you guys for what everybody has talked about, this gauntlet that you are going to face, sort of moving into November.
Absolutely. Going into the season, we knew that our schedule was definitely backloaded, but at the end of the day, you got to take care of business in the beginning part of the season, right? And you got to win all those games, and it's a different thing, right? All those teams have the records they have because we've beaten them all, right? They would have better records if they'd beaten us. So, it's just one way to look at it. And, we have to take care of business. So 6-0 in the games that, we knew we needed to take care of. And then just had to use that, right, to get us better and to get guys reps and to get people opportunities to play in these games that they're ready when the moment comes in bigger games like at Notre Dame and South Bend or at Memphis or at home against USF coming up. So, those are the big opportunities I think that guys will be ready for when we get there.
All right. So how excited do you get when you see a team stacking the box? Like how happy are you? If we could get like a close up of your face, do you just have the biggest ass-eating grin, like knowing like go ahead. We're gonna show you we can do some other things too.
Yeah, that was definitely a little bit, I'm sure Eli feels the same way when he sees himself out there, getting some certain coverages. And so, when we see that, whatever it might be, if a team's playing slow on the back end, then we're, excited to run the ball. If a team wants to stack the box and take away our run game, then we're more than happy to throw it. So, I think we got a lot of weapons all over the place, and it's hard to stop us right now and figure out one thing you want to take away because it opens up so many other areas. So I think when that happens, there's definitely a little grin on my face for sure.
Right. I remember talking to you about this last year and the arrival of Coach Cronic and that relationship. But take me back. When you came to the academy, were you at all worried originally? Like, am I going to be able to throw the ball? Am I going to have the opportunity to use that part of my game? And what has it meant to you to be able to do that at the level that you guys have been doing and showing the world, like, no, again, we are really good at this part of this too?
Yeah, I think truthfully, when I got here as a freshman, I was not a polished passer in any sense, and probably wasn't ready to be a passer in a college football game, right? And so I think Coach Newberry said in an interview, but it's just development, growing, and getting the reps against our defense in practice, and recognizing coverages, and just letting people. I ran triple option offense in high school, so we didn't throw it very often, and getting used to just thrown it. But yeah, it's been a lot of growth, especially with Coach Cronic, to help me develop as a passer to allow our offense to get better.
And it's been evident, right? Like, it's clear that you have been really, really good at it, and those relationships are real. Blake, is there one? Like, obviously, like, every the 4th and 1 play from that temp, is there one play that like you look back on and you're like, man, I could watch that a million times if I have like 2 minutes, I know you don't get much time at the academy. I understand that your time is pretty much taken from you. But like, is there one that you don't mind going back and looking at and being like, yeah, we really did that. Like, that really happened.
I think it's really cool when you can get the sideline view, especially in people's reaction to the sideline. That's why I like better. It's just going down the sideline, like seeing everybody. So definitely the Temple 2-point conversion was one of those. Another one of those would probably be the Oklahoma play, the 95-yard touchdown to Oklahoma, or the 90-yard touchdown versus Memphis. I think those three are probably the coolest ones.
Do you have anybody? Do you have a favorite reaction? Is there someone on the sideline whose reaction you're particularly looking for because they always give you the goods whenever you get the sideline video?
Coach Newberry's pretty good, and then Coach Jasper, our running back coach, they both, get pretty excited when that stuff
and we
happens.
think of those guys as like pretty stoic guys, right? Like
100%.
Yeah. But you're telling me like in those moments they let loose.
For sure. They've been around football for a long enough time to know when something exciting happens. So, they let loose pretty good.
That's dope. I love everything about that. How about the blocking on the touchdown? And I feel like that's the part of it that maybe gets lost. Like, my God, that hole, I might have been able to run through that
Absolutely.
hole.
Yeah, I mean the whole offensive line just doing their job, right, and executing. But the biggest three were definitely Alex Teska, Ben Purvis, and Cody Howard. Just picking up everybody and displacing them is the really big thing, right? Is getting in their way and moving them out of the way to open up that hole. And like I said, I didn't have to do much, right? I didn't get touched. There was no one even close to touch me because our blocking was so good. And then just had to run straight. So if I'd have screwed that up, that would have been embarrassing on my part. But they blocked their butts off. It was great.
It was, by the way, the one from Ben I thought was just gold, man. Like, I think as an offense, you live for that moment. Like,
100%.
Give me that every time. Blake, I know you're going to tell me that you don't do it for recognition, and it's not about individual things, and it's sort of what I appreciate most about Navy football players. But the conversation has started about, hey, Blake Horvath should be in the Heisman Trophy picture. He should be someone that we're considering. And Keenan was there once upon a time, and I think that conversation is significant not just for you, but for the entire team and the program and the academy and what that means. What does it mean to you when you read stories like that, or you hear people say, that's what I think Blake Horvath is doing? And do you feel like, hey, man, I'd love to have that conversation keep going, because presumably it means we're winning games and doing all the right things?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say it's definitely for the academies more than anything a team statistic. Just because being the quarterback in a option offense, wing T offense, right? Everything goes through you. You're gonna get a lot of rushing attempts, a lot of passing attempts, especially in our offense, and so. Just our ability to execute, win games, and get our offense going is, that's more telling, I think, of that than anything. But it's honestly really cool, right? To be in that conversation with, the likes of Joe Bellino and Roger Staubach, who have won it from Navy, and then obviously Keenan Reynolds, who was highly recognized for it, should have been in New York for his ceremony that year. But I just think it's just cool, growing up a football fan my entire life, and knowing all these, great players that have won the award, and to have my name even slightly associated with it is pretty cool.
I agree with that. It's really cool. It's a very cool thing, and let's get you there. Let's make sure that we end up in New York this year and having that conversation. Blake, the other thing too is, like, are you starting to like smell the roses a little bit? Are you going through any of those feelings? Like, I know it was a big deal for everybody to win Academy game at home 2 weeks ago because it's something you guys hadn't done. Are you having any of those emotions as you go through this season?
Absolutely. Just being grateful for everything and recognizing, this is the last year, last go around, last dance, you might want to say, but it's really cool just to have that opportunity to play, an academy game at home here in Annapolis, and to win that one, like you said, for the first time in a while, is awesome. Just the whole opportunities and the experience we get to bring to the fan base and to everybody is just really cool. And to think, there's only 6 more regular season opportunities left is sort of surreal, right? It goes by really fast. So, definitely sort of starting to smell the roses and you recognize, the end of my time here, but we're going to make the most of it for sure.
I know obviously you guys have one goal, next game, that's the way that you're thinking, but you reference 6 regular season games. And we're all hoping there's going to be maybe like a few more postseason games.
Hopefully.
Do you feel like this team is capable of doing that, of accomplishing that big goal, winning the AAC, being the team that can punch their ticket to the college football playoff?
Absolutely. I think that we have that opportunity with just, our culture and our standard and the talent that we have on this team. I think people always say that all the time, right? The difference between the academies is the talent gap they have with all these other schools, but I don't really think that exists as much anymore as people might want to say, right? I don't think you can point as many schools and say that, Eli Heidenreich, Alex Teska, Cody Howard, Brandon Chapman aren't as talented as their players. So I think I think that this team definitely, we have high standards and high goals of what we want to accomplish.
Blake Horvath, it's so much fun watching you play football, man. It really is a joy, and what you guys are doing is awesome. I know it's at Horvath Blake on Twitter. Remind me, are you on Instagram?
I am, yes.
And
I think it's b.horvath11 maybe.
Oh, we'll double check that, and if it's wrong, we'll tell everybody. We'll make sure they give you a follow. Blake, awesome what you're doing, man. May this continue throughout the course of the season, and may we be celebrating you with the even bigger things. Appreciate you taking the time for us as always, man. Best of luck moving forward.
Thanks, Glenn. Thank you.
It's Blake Horvath, Navy quarterback, just having a spectacular season as they're off to a 6-0 start, and we'll see. Obviously, for him to get into that picture, we talked about it with Keenan Reynolds, who finished 5th in Heisman Trophy voting, and for some insane reason, they didn't invite him to New York, which is the dumbest thing of all time. But in order for him to get into that place, Navy has to keep winning, and that's not going to be easy. They do come out of the bye, and the next one, they're back at home next Saturday. That one perhaps not quite as daunting as FAU comes to town. But then at North Texas, at Notre Dame, South Florida at home, at Memphis.
Easy.
And then a AAC championship game potentially against Tulane. Go get them. Go get them, right? If they come out of that, even if they lose to Notre Dame, I still
bite your tongue.
Yeah, I know. I still think that a one-loss team can get into the college football playoff from that group because it's going to be hard. First of all, you can control it against all the other teams in the AAC, right? Like you control that. If you beat Memphis on Thanksgiving night, I'm still pissed off that why does that have to be the same night the Ravens are playing? Oh, it drives me crazy. And you beat Tulane in the AAC championship, then you'll be giving those teams losses. I don't even know right now who's at the top of the Mountain West at the moment. Who else is in the? I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet.
Who's in the Mountain West now? Is it like UTSA? No, UTSA is
it's there in the American. It's
Chicago
UNLV
State.
and San Diego State. God. Hang on, real quick. And
they're no good. The Mountain West.
I'm pretty sure.
Is Boise like back at top? I think they
probably are. They seem to be there. They seem to be there quite frequently. It's all the AAC teams right now that are considered to be the favorites. UNLV, I guess, is considered the favorite among the Mountain West teams to get that spot. So.
Oh, that's right, because they're 6-0. They're like a
Luke Jackson's here. Hi, Luke Jackson. How are you, sir? What's that? Yeah, we're working on Albert Pujols. Yeah, working on Pujols. See if we can't come up with that shortly. Thanks to Blake Horvath for taking the time for us. This man, our own Heisman Trophy candidate. Of course.
Is he? What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very, very likely. He would normally be with us for Project Game Day, but there is no Project Game Day this Sunday. We'll take the week off, and then hopefully things will be better the following week. PressBoxOnline.com/gameday after every game. All brought to you by Game Day Men's Health, 1-800-GAMBLER, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, Costas Inn, Live Casino and Hotel. He's Ken Zalis. He's back with us now to make some picks. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Other than I had a terrible week in picks last week, and I'm probably going to do it again this week because.
How'd I do last week? I haven't checked.
I think you were decent last week.
Bad.
No, you were 5-4. Yeah.
Okay.
KZ was 5-4.
Hey.
But he's still at the bottom. Still.
Any week above 500, I'm good.
I completely agree with that. Completely agree. Although it was a big week for a couple of folks. Andrew Stecca coming off a 7-2 week, and now all of a sudden KZ. We got to worry about this because Stecca, as we've said before, he can get out if he wins, and he is once again tied atop the table with Griffin for the lead at 32-28 on the season. James,
so you're telling me I have to rely on Griffin?
Yeah, right. James Revere's one game back out of nowhere, back-to-back huge weeks for Ryan Chell, and suddenly he's only 2 games back. I don't know what happened there, and Ryan's all of a sudden 2 games back.
Maybe he did the Costanza thing.
What are we doing about Mike Evans this week? Like, if he practices, because they don't play until Monday, so this is the problem. If he practices,
I mean, it's a Friday thing. If he's full,
it's really a Saturday thing, right? Because like
yeah, but you'll know unless you have a bunch of people playing tonight. Just Yeah, it'll be a Friday, Saturday. If he's limited, then full, he'll be good to go.
All right.
And if he plays, you play him.
That's what I'm saying. If he plays, I feel like
if he plays, you're playing him.
Because they don't have any other wide receivers.
Well, yeah. Godwin looks like he may miss the rest of the year. Shepard doesn't do that. I saw everybody in fantasy was picking up Tez Johnson. It's like, dude had one catch, guys. Okay.
Right. But he thought he was MVP for
He did.
Apparently everybody in the fantasy community agrees with him. I saw somebody bid in a $200 fab. Somebody spent $125 on him this week.
Oh my gosh. Why am I not?
It was absolutely. Now in another league, same thing. Somebody got him for $3, which is why fab is just so incredible to me. But 125, like the guy's like the 4th wide receiver on the depth.
I don't think anyone even added him in my league.
All right. He's still available in some.
In your cockamamie league, am I starting Kendrick Bourne? I think I am. So am I starting him?
You got to watch Bourne. So it's all dependent on Kittle and Pearsall. So even Kittle, and I know everybody will say, well, it's just tight end. Yeah, but it's going to take away targets from the wide receiver. And if Pearsall plays, you can't start Bourne as good as he's been.
Okay.
If CeeDee Lamb plays, he is playing. Okay, so
No, you play him.
Well, yeah. If he plays for George Pickens, would you still play George Pickens over Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Is Harrison going to play?
I guess that's a fair question.
He's in the concussion protocol.
So are you worried at all about George Pickens?
I don't start Pickens and Lamb together on a team.
Well, no, yeah, I know. I'm saying.
You're saying okay. You don't have both.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I'm worried. Yes, I knock. Depending on what your options are, I knock Pickens down a couple of tiers.
Got it.
Aaron Rodgers or Michael Penix? It's Rodgers, right? Because Cincinnati's defense sucks, right?
Yeah, but
it's gonna be a low-scoring game tonight, though.
Yeah, I guess you kind of do. Yeah, it's against Cincinnati.
And Penix, I really do want to buy into Penix.
I like Penix.
Yeah, but it's San Francisco.
You gotta. It's San Francisco. The matchup tells you Rodgers, even though there's certainly a limit on the ceiling there.
Am I flexing Woody Marks, Bam Knight, or Calvin Ridley?
I don't think Ridley's going to play. I'm probably going Marks. You got to think that continues to go the way it's been going.
Well, it didn't go that way the week after.
Well,
it took one week to not go that way.
But it wasn't from a lack of touches. And even though Bam, everybody's in love with him. I wish on the fantasy they would just list him as Bam instead of Zonovan.
Yeah, that is another.
I want to call him Zam.
Really confusing. Really confusing. But he still split carries with Carter, so I'm not thrilled about that offense this week if they're down Harrison and still down Murray.
All right. I think that's everything I got for you. Let's pick some games. Picks.
Yes.
Picks brought to you, as I mentioned, you can see those 10 questions with Blake Horvath inside this new print issue of Press Box, which is available for free and now available at Baltimore area High's Dairy Stores. New location for you to get your print issue of Press Box at your neighborhood High's. Get some eggnog, get some chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream, and get that print issue of Press Box. I also remember, it's been a while, but I remember High's having exceptional hot dogs when I was a younger man.
I don't know if any of those places have exceptional hot dogs anymore.
I think of those places, High's.
It's been a while. There's a High's right down the street from me. I can't tell you I've eaten there in the last.
Well, it's time to change that, KZ. It's time.
But
putting
I will
you in charge. I need you.
I will go.
Yeah, by next week.
I will go and make sure.
I'd like a report on the High's hot dogs.
I'm not ordering.
I'll head to High's. I'll order everything on the menu, and I'll give you.
Thank you. I would appreciate that.
I remember way back when they had phenomenal milkshakes, but I don't know they do that anymore.
I don't know that answer either. I know they still do the ice cream. I know that much.
I don't know if they did. They used to have phenomenal milkshakes.
But yeah, picks are brought to you by the new print issue, which is available right now. All right. I told you who's at the top. At the bottom, Paul Valley now has company. John Proctor. After a 4-game swing last week, Valley went 6-3. Proctor went 2-7. We've now got a tie at the bottom of the table, and that's how quick things can change.
I'm rooting against Proctor now, too.
Who wouldn't root against Proctor?
Well, because he's being cocky now, too.
I didn't tell the story. Proctor had planned a vacation for his anniversary. It was their 10th anniversary. They were headed to Iceland and then Spain. And I did not know this. I learned something. I feel very bad for him. His wife's passport apparently expires in 3 months, and there are certain countries that will not let you in with a passport that expires in the next 3 months, because they don't want you to stay and then have the passport expire and create a problem.
Gotcha.
So they didn't know that. They didn't let him on the flight. They had to go drive to D.C. to get an emergency day of. They missed the first couple of days of their trip. They were able to go, so I don't feel. Now I can go back to making fun of them.
I still want him to lose.
Yeah, I felt. Oh yeah, of course. We always.
Well, because he texted me, he's like, I had to follow up with him right before the show started. I was like, dude, I don't have your picks, and he was like, oh shoot, I'm in Spain.
Yeah.
Just give me all the favorites.
Is that really what he said?
Yep.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like that. You're right. I want him to lose.
I want him to lose. I want to pick all the dogs just to spite him.
Right. All right, here we go. That's what's going on. Let's get some picks. Start the college level.
We're going to Los Angeles, where we got a big everyone's favorite Big Ten.
Technically,
Big Ten
it's Pasadena, Griffin.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, Pasadena.
Play
we're
at
going
the
to
Rose Bowl.
UCLA is hosting the Maryland Terrapins in a classic Big Ten matchup here on FS1 Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. UCLA laying 3.5 against the Terps.
This is just their reality. Boy, we thought UCLA was that's your guaranteed next win, but all of a sudden UCLA looks like they know how to play football with Tim Skipper and Jerry Neuheisel. So until Maryland does it, it's also it's tough to make a trip to the West Coast. Until Maryland does it, I just have to keep picking the other way, UCLA.
So this is UCLA versus UCLA, right?
More or less.
How do you? It's only 3.5. You got East going to West. You got UCLA all of a sudden figuring out that they can score 1 million points a week. I know this is going to shock everyone, but I'm going to take UCLA.
I'm stunned. I can't believe it. Cannot believe it.
Right. After the way the last 2 weeks have gone for each of these teams, it certainly feels
Maryland getting some statement covers in there. You are forgetting about that.
Statement is something. It definitely feels impossible almost to take the Terps here. It almost, the way that the last 2 weeks have gone, it feels insane that UCLA is only laying 3.5.
Don't disagree. Well, look,
the line opened at 5.
We're pretending like Maryland hasn't been right in those 2 games.
Yeah,
they have been right in those 2 games, and probably should have won. Definitely should have won the Washington game. Could have won the Nebraska game.
They should have won both.
No.
They should be 6-0 right now, and this should be
7-0.
Yeah. This is everything's pointing to UCLA. It's their homecoming. They're wearing these. They're wearing these powder blue
Just get to that
throwbacks.
part.
Everything says Bruins.
Yes.
Which is why I'm going to go
there
the other way.
That's my guy.
I'm going to stick with Locks and the boys.
There we are.
We're getting one step closer to bowl eligibility.
Sure.
Taking down UCLA on the road here. No pressure.
They don't even have to win.
No pressure of the home fans here.
All they got to do is lose by a late field goal.
Yeah,
that's all they got to do.
Not. We're winning outright. I'm taking the Terps. Mostly everyone is on the Terps, though. So, of course, John Proctor is on UCLA because he wants the favorites. You two and Andrew Stecco on UCLA. So 4.
Which all of a sudden is
that's
the man we want.
Right?
Yeah, right? Although Proctor,
8-4 split here with 8
that
on the
shocks
Terps.
me.
Now
I get that you get points, and so.
But it's 3.5.
We're all
like,
homers. Guess we're all homers. Well, I guess that means the public is on the Bruins.
They have covered twice.
If Jeremy's on there.
Maryland.
Yeah. We're going to Athens, Georgia, the site of College Game Day. Ole Miss, number 5 ranked Ole Miss Rebels, taking on the number 9 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Between the hedges here, and Georgia laying 7.5.
7.5 seems large. I know that we're still this is sort of the moment for Ole Miss to prove whether they're legit or not. Obviously, they got that win over LSU a couple weeks ago.
Do we think Don might just be Ken's burner?
Because he just all he ever says is fire Harbaugh. That's all he ever does. He just pops into the chat to fire. We're not talking about the Ravens at all. There's Don.
Have we even mentioned
He just
Ravens
wants us.
at all?
He just wants us to know he's there.
I haven't said it in a while.
I'm sure at least minutes it's been since the last time.
I haven't said it all year.
I've actually heard from members of the Zalis family that sometimes you say it in your sleep. I've actually heard.
I mean, my cats are tattletales, so yeah.
Like you don't feel like you can comfortably ride with Ole Miss because they've just never really gotten the job done in a situation like this. But it is 7.5 points that you're playing with.
Who'd they barely beat? Washington. Why were they?
I think it was Washington State.
Oh, Washington State.
Yeah, Washington State.
Still, why were they playing Washington State?
I don't know. Georgia.
So this is another situation where this is Ole Miss's opportunity to make a statement, and they're for real. And haven't we had this conversation each of the last 4 years? And it's never worked out well for them.
Not typically.
Something's missing for me this year with Georgia, though.
I don't
they're
disagree
not.
with that.
They're not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they're very good, but they're not the dominant Georgia teams we've seen on either side of the ball. And I guess that's what happens when you graduate 1 million people to the NFL. Eventually, it catches up to you a little bit. I'm enticed by the hook. I'm going to go Ole Miss here.
All right. Try to see if they can stay within the touchdown. Go ahead.
I mean, Georgia's always been, one of my rules teams. I always like to bet on Kirby Smart, but they have hurt me this season, obviously, against Alabama, against Tennessee. They did cover last week against Auburn, but that feels like a game they maybe shouldn't have won. Auburn could have very easily gone up 17-0, and then they fumbled on the goal line, and everything went downhill from there. So I'm going to fade them in favor of Lane Kiffin and the Rebs. Trinidad
you guys
Chambliss.
throwing your faith behind Lane Kiffin. That is an interesting. His own daughter's cheating.
I mean,
on
it
him.
is worrisome that the SEC is trying to let Kirby Smart just steal timeouts, and just give it to him.
That is fascinating.
It's weird.
Well, he wasn't calling a timeout.
But Lane
he
Kiffin's
he was clapping, as you know. A lot of guys clap.
But
like
that's
that.
the difference. Lane Kiffin's no pushover like Hugh Freeze is. So he's not going to let Kirby get away. He would sprint to the other sideline and say, what are we doing here? And probably fight Kirby in the middle of the game. I would think that's what Lane Kiffin does. Ole Miss for myself. Andrew Stecca's on the Rebels. James Revere, Joe Serpico, KZ, Paul, and Ryan Shell on Ole Miss.
So basically everybody.
I guess so. I should have read it the other way around.
Yeah, that's mostly.
It's like a 7-5 split. We're close.
All right.
Final college game of the slate, Saturday night on NBC. We're getting all the networks involved this weekend as 7:30, the number 13 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish will host the USC Trojans up into the top 20, number 20 ranked Trojans.
I don't want to overreact to what USC did to Michigan.
Sorry, Notre Dame's laying 9.5.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to overreact to what USC did to Michigan last week, but I also, in what world am I 10 points trusting Notre Dame? Yeah, they've gotten things going again, but that's playing against NC State and Boise State, and I mean I know they hammered Arkansas a couple weeks ago. I'm not in a place of 10-point trust in Notre Dame, USC.
Yeah, I'm kind of the other way. I don't trust either one, and it's a lot of points, and I have myself questioning why is it a lot of points. And I came up with that somebody wants me to take USC, so I'm going to take Notre Dame.
All right.
Notre Dame has to win, I think, right? Like just
if they have any hopes of reaching the playoffs, yes.
Has to. Yeah.
I think they do.
Hope at all.
I think they do win. But unfortunately, I don't like being on the same side as Glenn here. But 9.5, the same process as well. 9.5 is just way
That's how
too
they get
many.
you. That's how they get you.
Well, they're getting us. They're getting us here. That A&M game still doesn't feel too long ago when they lost in their home field. I don't think USC is Texas A&M, but I don't know. I'm inclined to trust Notre Dame, but not to this degree. I will take the 9.5 points with USC. KZ not alone on the Irish. Jeremy Kahn and James Revere on Notre Dame as well. Right. To the NFL tonight, we are going to Cincinnati as Joe Flacco takes on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's getting 5.5 points to work with here.
I realized I'd picked Green Bay to beat Cincinnati by 15 last week, and they didn't do that, but it's only 5.5. I don't know. There's some bizarre part of me that thinks that, like, this could be a weird game. Like, I know better than to believe in Pittsburgh. They're not that good at anything. This could be a close game tonight, but it still requires me to have any amount of faith in Cincinnati's defense, and I can't do that. But it would be more fun if Cincinnati won. Give me Cincinnati.
This isn't about fun, Glenn. This is about a contest.
Yeah.
I thought 14.5 was too much last week. I really didn't, but it was more fun to pick with Joe last week. I'm not doing it this week. Conference game, Thursday night, short week, ugly, 40-year-old quarterback, TJ Watt. Nope. Give me Pittsburgh.
They're both 40-year-olds.
Hang on a second. Ugly. I mean, have you seen him? He is definitely not ugly. You can say a lot of things. Joe Flacco. You can say a lot of things about that man, but ugly is not one of them. That's a handsome fella.
His football.
Well, that's a different
That's
conversation.
not ugly either.
You use the word ugly.
There's nothing about him that's ugly
We
whatsoever.
can say whatever you want to say, but not ugly. That is a good
I think you misunderstood my ugly. The ugly was towards the Thursday, not Joe.
No, Joe's great on
Thursdays.
Ugly. Probably, I think. I don't know. Outside that one time, Kiko Alonso
Just
tried to
take
kill him.
Cincinnati and keep. We know you're picking Cincinnati.
Mike
Just
Tomlin's
keep-
25-11 against the Bengals, against the spread all time. He's 8-3 when favored in Cincinnati against the Bengals.
This is what Griffin spends his time preparing.
I know.
This is
It's like
Right.
I'm not going against Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
But my Steelers friend said, they're going to lose this game. So he for some reason does have a good read on when they're about to blow something. So yeah, I mean I'll take Joe Flacco easy here, getting 5.5 points at home.
I have been my Pittsburgh friends have already warned me. This is a classic Tomlin special.
And this is the Cleveland game. This was the snowy Cleveland Thursday night game from last year. 100%.
Yep, 100%. They're all convinced.
I do. I am, and that's exactly what my friend said as well. You are on the Steelers, Ken, as is John Proctor, because they're favorites. John and Little Rock and James Revere on the Steelers. So an 8-4 split here in favor of the Bengals. To Sunday morning on NFL Network at 9:30 a.m., the Jacksonville Jaguars return to their home city of London and take on or host, I guess you want to say, the Rams.
Those sons of bitches out here wearing cleats on the tarp.
Rams are laying three even, no hook here.
Oh, I was hoping for a hook. I mean, there was something a little off about the Rams. It's also interesting that they decided to do it this way instead of just going to London after the game. The way that it feels like teams have figured out is the better way of doing this. I'm not really sure how much it helps them to have done the stopover in Baltimore for a week.
Well, maybe they wanted to protect their backup quarterback. Don't walk the streets. You might get assaulted.
I mean, maybe. This also feels like a bounce-back spot for the Jaguars, right? They get humbled last week, and I don't know. I like the Jaguars here. Give me the Jaguars.
I mean, only thing I have to know is that somebody practiced at Camden Yards this week, and nobody wins there. So I'm going to take the Jaguars. I actually like the Jaguars, tongue-in-cheek aside. I think it is I agree with you, Glenn. I think it's a bounce-back week. They know how to play over there. They're used to this. That's their home field. They've played well there before. Give me the Jags.
I like the bounce back angle as well. Feels like the Rams are the better team. I don't know. It's just recency bias probably. I'll take the Jags to bounce back as well. Andrew Stecca is on the Rams, though, as is Jeremy Kahn, James Revere, and John Proctor, because they're favorites, and Paul Valley on the LA Rams as well, going across the pond. To the 1 p.m. window on Fox, the Eagles are going into Minnesota, and they are laying 2.5 against. We presume somebody will be playing quarterback for Minnesota. I think Kevin O'Connell wants all three to be up in the air. Brosmer could be McCarthy.
I still don't think Brosmer's real. I think that's an AI generation.
He definitely played. He definitely got into the game.
I'm not convinced it's a real person, though. What did you say the line was?
Philly minus 2.5.
Philly. I mean, they're. I know they've lost a couple of Philly. That's the answer. That number's too small. They're definitely. I don't know why that line is what it is. Philly.
Who's Philly playing?
Minnesota.
We don't know who the quarterback is for Minnesota, do we?
But we're just repeating the thing that was just said.
It's a good point there, Casey.
I don't know. I take Minnesota. Something's wrong with Philly. I don't understand as much talent as they have. Well, what's going on there exactly?
Yeah,
I don't think they know either.
I don't think there's anything. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there is something wrong with Philly. I don't think there is. I think they were on the road against. I'm spoiling my next pick, but I think that Giants team might actually be something. They might actually have something going there. So yeah, I think the Eagles bounce back here. If we knew that Carson Wentz was actually starting, and this was a Carson Wentz revenge game, that would change how eager I am to pick the Eagles here. But I don't think they want to start Wentz. So I will take the Eagles here as well. We're relatively split. I think the Vikings are the minority. KZ's on Minnesota, as is James, Jeremy, and Andrew Stecca. 8-4 split here.
How about that?
Now to the 405. 405 on CBS. Denver is laying 7. No hook here, hosting the Giants.
I don't like the Broncos. And yet the moment that you tap out on the Broncos is when they decide that they want to play football again. And they do have 30 sacks on the season. Now, Jackson Dart's a little bit more mobile, and, of course, we're all in love with Cam Scadaboo. And so, yeah, I'm probably the sucker for doing it. I know Griffin's already telling us that he's doing it, but 7 points is too rich for my blood. Give me the Giants.
I am not doing it. I like Dart. I like what Scadaboo brings to the table. They're still wide receiver, challenged, to call it nicely. This is a Denver defense that's really, really good. They want to get the stench off of what they just threw up last week away. I think they rolled this game.
Roll? I don't know.
Roll.
If I trust
Capable.
Roll Broncos.
They just don't play 4 quarters of football.
Bo Nix, as a favorite last year, was 8-0 against the spread. This
8
year,
8-0.
That was last year. This year, 1-3 against the spread.
So he's 8-4.
As if
it's 9-3, but sure.
Okay, whatever.
Both of you. I love that both of you got it wrong. I love that it was very simple math. And both of you found different ways to get it wrong. Like, that just makes me so
It's
happy.
the Cam Scadaboo meme coming out, here. I play football, all right? Football. I'm taking the Giants. I'm taking the Giants, getting 7 here. We are pretty split. I think 7-5 in favor of the Giants. On the Broncos is Jeremy, Joe Serpico, Proctor, KZ, and Kyle Ottenheimer on the Broncos. 425 on CBS. The Chargers are laying 1.5 against the 5-1 Indianapolis Colts.
Didn't go so well for the Colts the last time they went to Los Angeles. But
could argue they should have won.
Yeah, you can make that argument if you remember that you have to go into the end zone with the football, but it's a weird thing that no one seems to want to do anymore. Khalil Mack's going to come back for the Chargers, but not this week. And I think until then, I gotta roll. The points part kind of doesn't matter because it's only 1.5, but the team that's been better getting you gotta go with the Colts here. Colts.
Yeah, I agree with you here. I don't know if Quentin Johnson is playing this week, who's been a big part of their offense. They lose the big playability without him. Again, the points are immaterial to me. I just think right now the Colts are playing better football, so I'm going to go with the Colts.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Colts as well. I feel like there really is something to their defense. Maybe they're playing really bad teams the last couple of weeks, but I do think their defense is legit. Obviously, Chargers have kind of been struggling, are banged up offensively, especially on the O-line. So I'll take the Colts. I'm going to keep riding the train as they get 1.5 going back to L.A. here. On the Chargers, Paul Valley, Proctor, Joe Serpico, and Andrew Stecca on the L.A. Chargers.
Nice.
Sunday Night Football. No Ravens. This is our final game. No Ravens. Sunday Night Football. Atlanta at San Francisco, and the Niners are favorites, laying 1.5 at home.
We don't know who's playing.
Yeah.
But it also does to me feel like this is a bounce-back spot for them, and I still think the Falcons are more likely to be an up-and-down team, and every week, you don't know exactly what they are. So, 49ers.
Toughest game of the week to pick because of all that. You don't know who is going to play in the game.
Other than Christian McCaffrey, oddly. That's the one person. What a world we're living in, where the only 49er that we know is playing football is Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. And when he finishes the game, he's the best player in fantasy. Which Falcons team are we getting? The one we saw last week, or the one we saw two weeks ago that lost 30-0 to Carolina? So your up and down is well documented already this year. But I really like this team, the Falcons. I think they're continuing to put it together. I think they get better as the year goes on. Penix has figured out, hey, I can just throw the ball to two players and our offense clicks. In London and Bijan. I'm going to go with the Falcons here. I'm probably in the minority along the way, but
KZ, we are not in the minority. Everything says that this Falcons defense has been legit through 5-6 games. Niners seem to be getting Purdy back. We think. I think again, yeah, that makes it tough. It does feel like it should be a bounce back for the Niners, but the Falcons looked really good Monday night, shutting down the Bills. Recency bias is a bitch here. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons. 7-5 split.
I don't think I've ever heard Griffin use the word bitch, by the way. I think that it's like when you hear your 11th grade teacher cuss and you're like, wait, what?
What did you say?
I can't say that? All right, I won't say it again.
Fine.
Sorry.
You can say it.
It's fine.
I'll say it more?
You should say it more.
Okay. On the Niners, joining Glenn is Jeremy Kahn, Joe Serpico, Kyle, and Paul Valley on the San Francisco 49ers.
All right. Very
Do we
good.
have a line? Do we have a line yet on the Bears game?
I imagine we do. Hang on a second. Here, you talk about something. What do you have what's on your mind?
My mind?
Yeah.
I just love that this is a Ravens free week. And
you stressed out on something?
No, I don't.
What do you think the line is, KZ, for Bears Ravens?
Because the Ravens are coming off the bye, and right now the expectation is that Lamar. I'd say the Ravens are favored by 5.5.
Make it 6.5. 6.5 point favorites.
That's where I think right now that's fair.
Yep.
That's fair. It's under a touchdown.
This would be where the prediction market people would be like, "Hey, you better get on that now.
Better get on now
in case Lamar doesn't practice next week, and then you can always sell your ticket." Like
I would, if I was doing it now, I wouldn't bet the game, but I would, if I had to, I'd take the 6.5. I don't know that the defense in a week is getting.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. I don't know.
I just don't know.
I think the opinion of a lot of people is like, pray for whoever faces Lamar in his first game back, right? Like that's the opinion that a lot of people have. But
yeah, but he doesn't play defense still.
I'm
not saying they won't win the game. I'm just saying 6.5.
I get it
with that defense,
right? And a Bears team that's functional. I understand.
They are functional, and I mean, we still don't have anybody to rush the passer.
I hear you.
Yes.
All right, buddy. Well, we will talk to you again next week. Looking forward to the report on everything they have to offer at Highs.
I'm going there after. I will be there Friday after work.
Love it. Love everything about it. KZ, appreciate you, pal. We'll talk to you then.
Take care, guys.
That's Ken Zalis with us here on GCR. Don't forget that today's show is also brought to you by, I mentioned the print issue of Press Box. It is available at Highs. Go get it right now. We'll come back in, get a tidbit and two, to wrap it up on Glenn Clark Radio.
Game day hits different with Live Casino's Big Plays, Big Pays hot seats. Head to Sports and Social on select Sundays and Mondays in October. We'll draw 10 hot seat winners every hour. When the home team scores, we'll double the prize pool. Plus, we'll give away $50 Sports and Social gift cards with every touchdown. Watch and win at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
The weather's getting cooler, so when you and your family are picking out a place to dine, be it lunch or dinner, let's make it nice and easy. Now, with 2 great locations, the Costas Inn remains your #1 destination. Whether you want to get steamed crabs and the full Costas menu out at the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or sample the complete menu minus the steamed crabs at the new location above the grandstand at the Timonium Racetrack, Costas is your place to go. Check out the website CostasInn.com for a look at the menu, and if you want to plan that crab feast, call 410-477-1975. The Costas Inn.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Looking for Baltimore's premier waterfront dining experience? Head to Nick's Fish House, located in the Baltimore Peninsula. Enjoy crabs all year long, plus happy hour Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6. Planning a celebration? From rehearsal dinners to corporate crab feasts, Nick's is the spot to make it unforgettable. And the fun doesn't stop there. Live music fills the air every Thursday through Sunday. Check out the full lineup at nicksfishhouse.com. Nick's, it's where Baltimore comes to eat, drink, and play by the water.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
Yeah, we are lifelong Heisman. Everybody knows that about us.
We're Heisman.
Give us the Heisman Trophy. That's what we get. We are lifelong. Everybody knows that. We love highs. We've always loved highs, and we will forever love highs. We love highs. This is a straight shoot on my part. I spent a lot of time at highs in my life. Spent a lot of time. Very high on highs. That's the way that I feel about it. All right, winding down for a Thursday edition of the program. We'll get a tidbit. I feel like there was something else that I wanted to get to today, but I've already forgotten what it was, so let's dance. Put on. Oh, somebody asked if they were going to move, and I can't remember who it was, but I think it might have been Chris who said, is it weird that they haven't put Tavius Robinson on IR yet? Because you have to start that clock, right? Like, you can't. You got to be out 4 weeks, and if they think that he can come back to 6 to 8 weeks, then wouldn't they want to get that clock started? Well, if they know it's going to be 6, then maybe it doesn't matter if they put him on. And I only bring it up to say they might be trying to figure out what they want to do with the roster spot. Is it going to be for a Malik Ham on the practice squad, or might it be for
a free agent
or a trade acquisition? And since they don't have to play a game until next week. But I get it. Why wouldn't they just put Tavius Robinson on IR now? I don't think you have to make a corresponding move just to get the clock started. I would presume they're going to do that this week. I just don't – I don't think there's anything where they're like, well, maybe it could only be 3 weeks. I don't think that they say it's 6 to 8 weeks because they think there's a chance it's only 3 and they don't have to put him on IR. I don't think there's anything to read into that they haven't put him on IR yet. I just think that's a procedural thing and it'll happen at some point. And they are thinking about what it is they're going to do with the roster spot. So that's all I got for you on that. Tidbit brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. You got a bye week, just a day that you can go watch football. Take your emotions out of it. Just be in an amazing atmosphere at Sports and Social inside Live Casino and Hotel, where you can watch all the games on the 100-foot media wall. You're just steps away from the FanDuel Sportsbook. Incredible food and a spectacular atmosphere where everyone is living and dying on every play and every game because they all have money on them. best place to be. Sports and Social, live casino and hotel. Yeah, that's you.
Let's go with, I know you're going to hate this one. So Vlad, Vlad homered. Oh, okay, then he didn't join the list. But Sarah Lang's point, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how I want to articulate it. Sarah Lang shared that Vlad Jr., he's homered before in the playoffs, obviously, but he became the 6th duo, father-son duo, to both homer in the postseason. So Vlad Sr. is homered and Vlad Jr. has. What other father-son duos?
I'll assume the Bonds.
The Bonds did not.
Bobby
both.
Bonds never hit a home run in the postseason.
No.
There was a lot less postseason back in the day, so
Yeah.
I get it. How about, the Griffeys?
Nope.
How about the Bichettes?
Nope.
Okay, this is going well. How about the Alous?
No.
How about I feel very stupid right now. How about the Biggios? Cool.
We can do another one.
Settle down. Are these known father-sons?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
all right,
One of them I
settle
I
down.
did
I'll
not-
get there eventually. Chill out.
Maybe I should have known. I don't know.
Chill out. How about the Boones?
There you go. How many? Both Boons or one set of Boons?
Well,
or?
the way that you're asking me.
Yeah, I gotta give it away. Yes, both Brett. So Bob. So
Okay.
Bob counts for both. Brett homered 3 times, and Aaron Boone also homered twice in the playoffs. So that knocks out 2 of them.
I'm going to bet it wasn't Tim Raines and Tim Raines Jr. I don't think Tim Raines Jr. played more than 2 games in the Bigs, so I don't think that. The Fielders.
The Fielders absolutely did. Cecil Fielder and Prince Fielder.
I'm struggling to think about their father's sons.
One half of this duo we did mention earlier in the program.
Half of this duo we mentioned earlier in the program. Oh, Tony and Eduardo Perez had a home run in the playoffs.
Eduardo Perez had one postseason home run.
That's wild.
And then the final one, I don't know these guys too well. I don't have any hints that I can give.
Oh, good.
They're Dominican.
Okay. The Gomez's.
No, not the Gomez.
I got nothing here.
Let's see. He won the 89. It was the Javier. Stan and Julian Javier.
I know Stan Javier. I don't think I know Julian. I don't think I know
Stan Javier. Yeah. Father Julian and son Stan Javier. Both only homered once. In the
now,
postseason.
what about their grandson Christian? How's that?
Is he their grandson?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So those are your father-son postseason playoff home run duos. Thanks to Sarah Langs. Yeah.
Let's get Tubular. Tubular is brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Frederick, and Columbia. Whether you are feeling sluggish and run down, whether you're dealing with performance issues in the bedroom, whether you're dealing with stubborn belly fat, you just get to a certain age as a man and you don't feel the way that you felt before. And you're not sure what to do about it. Most of us just sort of roll over and say, well, it's the beginning of the end. We're all going to die. You don't have to just give up. And we don't like talking about it. It's not something we want to bring up at the bar. Like you're out with your buddies on a Friday night. Hey, guys, how's it going? I don't feel like a man anymore. Thanks, Daryl. It's just not the way it goes. But you can talk to the folks at Game Day Men's Health. And maybe you're low T. They'll give you a free testosterone test. Just find out. I was not, as it turns out, but I was still feeling sluggish and run down, so peptide treatment has been great for me. But it might not be for you. For you, it might be that, again, you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, and it's perhaps impacting your marriage, your relationships, the way that you feel as a human being. Don't let that be the case anymore. Don't just feel like, I'm ashamed, so I don't want to do anything about it. Go talk to Game Day Men's Health. In Owings Mills, 443-264-4454. In Columbia, 443-266-3505. And in Frederick, 240-931-3717. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. All right, Maryland 5 Star, as I mentioned earlier, gets underway 2 o'clock. You can watch it on MPT. Thursday Night Football, Steelers-Bengals at 8:15. Game 3 in the NLCS is up first tonight, Brewers-Dodgers at 6:08 on TBS. I know Tyler Glasnow is going for the Dodgers. Have the Brewers announced a starting pitcher yet?
I think it might have been a plan to bullpen it
Well,
anyway.
I
So
knew that
does that
was
mean
the
the
case.
Miz will
Opener.
get the ball? But even
That
that's
would
been
make
like
some
a couple innings.
sense. Hang on. Brewers still have not announced an opener for tonight. The ALCS then at 8:30 over on Fox Sports 1 as the Blue Jays now try to even that series against the Mariners. Max Scherzer and Luis Castillo. Who would have thought Max Scherzer? What a wild world we live in. It's at 8:33 on FS1. Everything else, you can go to glennclarkradio.com and find it there. All Griffin's concerned about is Taylor Fritz this afternoon. Oh, no, you don't care because you can't bet on it.
Yeah, it's
That was a difficult moment yesterday for Griffin.
I was
to find
searching
out.
all over, and then it started, and I was like,
he's not allowed to
Fritz rolled
bet on the Six Nations, Six Kings Slam, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Six Kings.
Don't disrespect the Six
Sorry,
Kings.
the history of the Six Kings Slam.
Not a whole. Oh, the Peacock's got
Alcaraz Fritz, Djokovic Sinner.
Okay. John Wayne Gacy, true crime drama series on.
Is it a series or is it a doc or a
It's not
scripted series?
Yeah, scripted series. Devil in Disguise about John Wayne Gacy. Looks pretty terrifying. So yeah,
I mean he's a terrifying dude.
Yeah. So that's on Peacock. It does certainly looks compelling. Big one for you as well. I know. Season 5 of Ghosts on CBS premieres tonight. I know you'll be checking in on that
comedies. That's
before Thursday Night Football.
CBS comedy man.
And then Jose Andres and Nick Offerman will be on Stephen Colbert.
All right. They're probably plugging the Six Kings Slam, if I had to guess.
Wow.
Probably not Jose Andres.
So Nick Offerman is in a movie called Sovereign. I don't know exactly when it's coming out, but he plays he literally plays Ron Swanson like in like real life. Though.
I'm
like,
in.
But he like goes like off the reservation and does
okay.
it. Yeah.
It's not a comedy necessarily.
I'm sure there will be like funny parts, but yes, it is kind of like a realer, little more dramatic.
You got me.
But,
you got me. Say no more. All right. Thanks today to Blake Horvath. Thanks to KZ. We'll get that up in the greatest hits section of the
Maya Rudolph will be on Kimmel tonight.
Tab at GlennclarkRadio.com. Amy Poehler was good. I think they're feeling kind of sluggish with like as many new cast members on SNL. It's been only okay through the first 2 weeks. Is there an episode this week?
Yes.
They better be.
So Sabrina Carpenter pulling double duty.
Been waiting for that moment.
Me too. I'm excited.
All right.
She already hosted, I think. Or no. Or is this her first
She
time?
definitely was a musical guest. I think she
okay.
hosted. I think she hosted before. All right. Tomorrow on the program, Stan will be in, and I believe we're going to talk to Jeff Fisher, former Titans coach, trying to get some sense of how a team gets out of a 1-5 hole. There's only been 4 that ever made the playoffs, including one of his Titans teams. So, going to try to find out from him, how do you do it? Like, how do you make this happen? So, that'll be fun, and yeah, stuff and things tomorrow on the program. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Game Day Men's Health, 1-800-GAMBLER, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, CountySports.zone, your local Toyota dealer, BuyAToyota.com, Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, the Maryland 5-star, Costas Inn, Nick's Fish House. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Thursday evening. Yeah, we go anybody.
Flacco.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's the Steelers. I mean, sure. Go Flacco. Go Bengals. Duke sucks.